Here now, the man himself, the governor from the great state of Wisconsin, Scott Walker. You sound like a presidential candidate. You going to run?
Well, I'm very interested for very much the same reason that some 5 years ago, Tonette and I sat down and talked about and ultimately prayed about getting in the race for governor, because back then we were afraid that our sons were growing up in a state that wasn't as great as the one we grew up in. I'm proud to tell you many years later now, because of our reforms, our state is better for them. But I have the same worries about this country for my sons today that I had for my state many years ago. And I think we need new, bold leadership from outside of Washington that's proven to take on the challenges that we face in this country right now.
All right, in a blue state, Wisconsin, you won 3 elections in 4 years. Now you're maybe about to get ready to run again, which is very impressive. And I know you have a record that's impressive as well. The question is, what's it going to take for you to make that decision? Where do you make the leap? How do you make the what's the obstacle right now?
Well, part of it right now is this early stage. We created ouramericanrevival.com to get out and start talking about the issues, because I think as a state leader who's actually had to do things, and it's not just in Wisconsin. We see it in Iowa and South Carolina. We see it in Michigan and Ohio and other places where you've got Republican leadership for the last few years. The ideas that are going to transform America aren't coming from people in Washington. They're coming from our state leaders. And so the first step is to get out in those states, talk about that. But I think if there's a sense out there, which I heard on Saturday, that people want not just dynamic speakers, they want people who've got a proven record, who've actually done something, not just talked about it, who are from outside of Washington. And increasingly, I think they want new, fresh leaders. If we're going to take Hillary Clinton on, we got to have a name from the future, not one from the past.
The only criticism I've ever heard about you, potentially being a national candidate, is that you don't have the fire in the belly, the passion, the inspiration. I mean, I don't think you want to become Obama, hope and change and Greek columns. Do you feel that you can connect with the American people, a broad base, and with fire and passion? Is that in you? Do you feel that burning desire to do that?
Absolutely, I think I can. You look at Wisconsin, I had almost universal support amongst Republicans. In fact, higher than any governor in the country in the 2014 election. Yet in Wisconsin, you can't win with just Republican votes. We took double-digit, 12-point margin amongst independent, self-identified independent voters in our state, and even a few discerning Democrats, because in the end, I believe what people in my state wanted last fall is what I think they want in this country, is they want leadership. They want people to boldly chart out where they want to take this country, and then they want to know that they've got the courage and the capacity to actually get it done. I think over the last 4 years, we've been tested.
I'm looking for a conservative leader with a bold, inspiring agenda that's going to solve problems for the country. Debt, deficit, I want to be energy independent, I want a border secure, I want school choice. What are you going to do? If you get to be president of the United States, what agenda are you going to run on?
Well, I think very much what I've done at the states. All the things you just mentioned, I promoted in the state of Wisconsin. Not just taking unions on. We passed statewide school choice. We're going to expand that even more in terms of who it's available to. We lowered taxes. We pushed economic growth. We pushed energy independence. I think in this country what we need going forward is a pro-growth agenda that talks about how you help everyone live their piece of the American dream, not pits one group against another group of Americans, that doesn't put favorites, be it in Washington or anywhere else out there, and that puts power, most importantly, takes the power out of Washington and puts it not only back into the states, but most importantly back into the hands of the hardworking taxpayers. Everyone in this country wants to live their piece of the American dream. We need leaders who understand that. The best way to do that is to get it out to the people.
All right. What's your timeline for running, Governor?
Well, I think in my state, but by this midsummer, I think any realistic candidate's got to be in by the summer. Yeah, which bodes well for me. My budget will come out next Tuesday for the 5th and 6th year in a row, I'll lower property taxes. I want a few months to get that job done, but I'm going to be in New Hampshire and South Carolina and back in Iowa, and we're going to be talking about these issues for the next several months because we're excited about where we can take this country.
And if you were going to give me odds if you're running, what are the odds?
Oh, I don't think it's ever been good to bet against me, and certainly in the last 3 elections for governor in the past 4 years, I wouldn't be betting against me in a race like this either.
All right, Governor Scott Walker, thank you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Sean.